Hello and welcome to the Healing Codes podcast. I'm Julie Williams, your host, bringing you weekly healing activations and inspirations for health and well-being. Today's episode is the last in the Everyday Spirituality series, where I've been covering practices to integrate more spiritual or life force energy into your life in easy and manageable ways to support you in living a vibrant, creative, and joyful life. Today, I'll be talking about the importance of ceremony in a spiritual practice and ways you can create these, big and small, planned or in the moment. You'll understand the components of ceremony and how to connect to its sacred nature. You'll receive practical examples of how to honor what is important to you through ceremony in a personal, everyday way. Ceremony is a practice that is a ritual, protocol, or convention, usually applied to social or religious contexts to mark special occasions. From a social context, it is often used to mark rites of passage such as birth, puberty, coming of age, graduation, weddings, retirements, and funerals. Ceremonies can be performed at different times in life to celebrate important occasions, such as receiving a special award, for example. They mark significant milestones and achievements. Ceremonies are also associated with seasonal changes that may or may not have religious significance. Religious ceremonies are guided by beliefs associated with specific religious practices of worshiping God or other deities in ways that have been practiced sometimes for thousands of years. Ceremony is a way to also bring people together in celebration, prayer, and ritual in observance of a divine source greater than our human form. Ceremonies are also used in healing practices, with some use of shamanic plant medicines, for example. Independent of the form it takes, ceremonies have a few key components to them: a beginning, a middle, and an end. This often takes the form of an opening element, realizing the expression of the intention for the ceremony, and a closing element. There is also a sacred element to a ceremony that is what sets it apart from just a regular gathering. This can be anything that embodies a connection to the divine energies of spirit, source, the universal all, God, or a particular deity. Ceremony is also performed in sacred space that is used for that specific purpose or can be created for the time during which the ceremony is held. Ceremony is a wonderful way to connect to the remembrance of the divine within and to honor and pay respect to the source energies of creation in whatever form is associated with your beliefs. The beauty of ceremony is that it really has no limits and can be done on a daily, weekly, monthly, seasonal, or annual basis. It can be done as a society, country, the world, a community, or on a day for whoever shows up to the event. I've personally learned the value of ceremony through the time I've spent in the East, in India and Indonesia, where small ceremonies are part of their daily practice, as well as larger ones centered around gods, seasons, and holy days. I've witnessed the powerful energies these events can bring forward and how making daily offerings to the home, for example, can completely change its energy, making it feel more alive. As a shaman, I have also had the honor of attending medicine ceremonies where spirit is called in for healing, where spirit form and human form mix in an intermediary dimensional reality that is an incredible thing to experience. I've experienced firsthand how spirit can also be found in nature, and tuning into these spirits can create a ceremony with natural elements and the four directions, for example. From these life experiences, I have learned to bring ceremonial practices into my own healing sessions, workshops, courses, and retreats to call in the elementals and healing spirits to hold the container for the work that will be done. I use the key elements to do this: opening, intention, closing, and using sacred space. It helps me contain the healing energies with divine wisdom and grace, so that when I step out, I am instantly clear of any residue. Practicing ceremony in my work is a key factor in my longevity as being a practitioner, going on 20 years. Practicing ceremony on a personal level has helped me get out of my own way and embody bliss, harmony, and love as the truth of who I am. It is a regular part of my spiritual practice in the form of creating sacred space with the use of altars. Altars are a place to create sacred space to hold the intention that is then activated by giving offerings, for example. I personally have several altars in my house for different intentions that I regularly give offerings to in the form of the elementals, like fire with a candle, air with incense, earth with flowers, and water by placing sacred water that I usually get from a healing well into a small bowl. Each altar has a central theme designated by a statue or sacred object to represent the intention. As I give the offerings, I hold my intention in my heart to charge the space. I will do this on special occasions, rites of passage, or significant days of the year, wherever I feel most guided. I will also do this centered around healing gatherings or classes that I give, as I find it's a great way to open, hold, and close the space. I honestly find this helps me keep in the flow of the connection of the divine, where I remain most accessible to the spiritual life force energies that supply energy, clarity, creativity, and clairvoyance. If I am creating an altar for a certain ceremony, I will always open with an intention, an offering, and close it with the reflection of gratitude. For any of you practitioners out there, learning to open and close your sessions is key to keeping your energy body clear by being able to come fully back to yourself after the session ends and have it be closed for both you and your client, which helps integration. I'm sure you already have a ceremonial practice in your life, and now I want to encourage you to weave this into your daily life to help hold the spiritual energies that you have been activating through these other podcast episodes, through meditation, time in nature, mindfulness, breath work, and practicing non-judgment, which are all the things I've been covering in this Everyday Spirituality podcast series. It can take as much time as you wish, from one moment a day to a longer practice each week. What I'm welcoming you into here is developing a personal ceremony that also allows you to take a breath, connect fully to your body, and align with the pure vibrational energies of the spiritual life force that resides around you and within you. To do this, first pick a location in your home or office that you can see every day, but is also in a quiet place so that it won't get disturbed. Then choose a central figure for your altar, a favorite crystal, an object from your ancestors, a key photograph, a statue of a god or deity, or any object that holds spiritual significance that you want to pay reverence to. That can help to hold the energy of the divine life force that is greater than ourselves, yet fills our human form. Now, open the space by making your offerings for each element: fire, earth, water, air, or metal. For example, you could use a candle, some flowers or a plant, a small bowl of water, an incense, or a metal object. Offer each to the altar from your heart, with gratitude for the divine within and around you. Take 3 deep breaths here after making the offerings and connect with your heart. If you have a bell, ring it to activate these energies and also close the container to hold the sacredness of this altar. If you don't have a bell, you can also sing a song or chant your favorite mantra. Charge your altar when you feel called, perhaps weekly, giving fresh offerings as you do. If you have a specific intention, add that in between the opening and the closing with special offerings or objects to support that intention. As you do this over time, notice what you notice within yourself. Maybe you'll feel a greater sense of peace, calm, presence, and relaxation. Taking time to stop each day in front of your altar, connect into your heart, and take a breath will help you set your day up for success. This is a practice that takes only 10 to 30 seconds a day, and each time you connect, you will fan the spark of life force energy within you to grow, and over time, you will notice a big difference in being able to release illness, release anything that bothers you, balance your moods, and express yourself fully. As you do this, point your heart towards the sky as you go about your day, knowing that you are now connected and present and grounded. If you resonate with this practice, you can go on to create specific altars for specific intentions, events, times of year, rites of passage, such as the birth or death of a loved one. You can set up these altars in the same way that I just guided you through, with an object or set of objects that you feel called, crystals, a photograph, flowers, anything that you feel guided to offer and open the space. You can also activate your meditation practice by first giving offerings to your altar with certain intentions, and then taking those into meditation to go more deeply, to welcome in the divine energies, and to address your intention for the day. If you're joining this with your meditation practice, as you bring your meditation practice to a close, also visit your altar and bring the session to a close. You can do this by blowing out the candle or just making 3 clockwise circles with your hand, indicating that you are now closing the container of the space. If you're using an active meditation practice, such as a walk or time in nature, open the sacred space of ceremony with your altar with offerings and an intention, and then simply close it when you return. As you do this over time, begin to notice within you how doing this brings a sense of connection to a source that loves and supports you unconditionally. And when you're feeling down or experiencing a challenge in life, draw on the high vibration energy from the sacred space that you've created through ceremony at your altar. It is for you, by you, and of you. Enjoy. Thank you for listening today. It was an honor to hold space for you. If you'd like to learn more about me and my work, including my upcoming Consciousness Medicine training course and my Family Constellation summer weekend retreats in Ireland, visit my website at www.consciousness-medicine.com, where you can also sign up for my free e-newsletter and stay connected on social media with links from the homepage.